Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, what is Sasha going to do? Because, I've been sitting there saying this since last night. No matter what Sasha does, she is screwed. If she tells Michael, she ruins her relationship with Willow. If she doesn't tell Michael to, save Willow or whatever, then she loses her relationship with Willow. And the longer this goes, is just going to be worse for her. Now, she's thinking about the whole kiss and everything. Drew comes in, she acts super weird and super awkward. Willow comes in, she still is just really uncomfortable. Talking about coffee and I don't remember what else. But eventually she excuses herself because one, she's not really cooking anymore, and two, let's be honest, she can't really be around those two. Um, she goes to Felicia and Maxie and tells her, "Yeah, I knew about Cody, and I knew about it for a while, but I didn't really sit there and say anything because it wasn't my story to tell." Then she also says that she was the one that tampered with the DNA test, and partly I was like, they accepted her apology, and it was like, okay, fine, whatever, we understand the position you were in. But part of me was like, shouldn't they have actually been a little bit more upset? They weren't too happy with Cody lying for a while, and to know that he was getting help by Sasha. In some ways, I feel like it kind of was a betrayal to Maxie a little bit. And, they've been close and everything like that. Maxie has always backed for her. So the fact that she was a part of the cover up, I would expect a little bit more blowback. I don't know if it was like friendship sort of thing, but a little pushback wouldn't have hurt. But, they're totally fine with it. And now they're trying to cook up some sort of scheme to kind of get both of them, the bond as far as Mac and Cody, since both of them are not going to make the first move, or not actually try to repair their relationship because they're both very stubborn. And I understand where Mac is coming from because Mac is more hurt than anything else. Cody, Cody just comes across as a coward in a sense because when he tells Sasha, yeah, I told Mac that was his son. It didn't work out well. He's pissed off at me, and now I want to leave town. I'm like, well, of course he's pissed off at you. You lied to him for a whole year, and it was a pretty shitty reason of why you lied to him. So of course he's going to be mad and hurt and everything like that. But your first instinct is to be like, well, you know what? I don't feel like they're dealing with it, so I'm just going to run away. I can see why a lot of people didn't like his character. But of course, Sasha also, gets him to stay and everything. Um, so he'll just stick it out or whatever. I don't know. But I don't know. So once again, Scotty tells Ava that her chances aren't good. And of course, Ava's like, the guy is literally a mobster, and he's been in tons of crap over the years. But Scotty reminds her, when it comes to her stability, Ava isn't on good footing. Moving from place to place to place, living in hotels as opposed to Avery just staying with Sonny. But I'm also just like, okay, I get stability, but I'm like, Sonny, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times has Sonny been arrested, been shot out, and things of that nature? You're telling me that the court is not going to sit there and look at it? Like, oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, Avery's better, very stable in Sonny's house because he owns a house, but he is in constant danger and threats of his life. And plus, yeah, even though that they can't prove it, Sonny is known to be an unknown, mobster. I'm pretty sure Ava living from hotel to hotel is not as bad as the kid staying with an alleged mobster. So I'm kind of just like, In a lot of ways, I feel like, Scotty, this is damn near a slam dunk for you. But Ava, not liking her chances, goes back to the doctor and pretty much tells the doctor to just stop giving him meds, give him placebos. So yeah, we're going right back into Morgan territory. Sad thing is that you would have thought that she would have learned her lesson the first time. On top of that, how irresponsible can you be at this point? You want Sonny to go completely off his meds. But Sonny, your daughter is around this guy who is not on his medication. What universe do you actually think that's a good idea? Like, seriously. I already was annoyed with Ava because she knew that Sonny was, not on his full dosage. And yet you still was around him. Your daughter was around him. And I felt like that was already irresponsible. And now you done went from bad to worse. I know she wants to sit there and keep her child, but this ain't the way. But she convinces the doctor to do just that or threaten him with exposure. So, he caves. She goes back to the hotel, and eventually Sonny comes in with the papers from Scotty's, and they're saying that, he's emotionally compromised or something like that. So he's pissed off. He starts recording the whole conversation, which I'm just like, I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea, because there's a point where he threatens her and sits there and says, I'm going to bury you. Okay, so you pretty much just record yourself threatening the mother of your child. Yeah, I was going to sit there and say it's not exactly very smart, but he is not fully on his medication, so I'm not really too surprised. So they go back and forth. There's a point where Ava's like, okay, she practically shows him the door. Sonny's like, I'm not going anywhere. At this point, John is like, is there a problem? Yo, you got FBI right there, and you sitting there talking about how you're not going to go anywhere. Yeah, okay, good. Give him a reason. Give John a reason, because John would love a reason to throw your ass in jail. Now, Sonny, oh yeah, also Ava brings up the whole, used to own a strip club or whatever. Now, if you would have sat there and say that, well, remember that time that you actually slept with a woman that was barely legal age, and you put her on a pole, and you gave her some candy? I'm pretty sure the judge would probably be more want to hear about that more than just him simply owning a strip club. Okay, cool. He comes across as big sleazy, as opposed to him coming across as, well, a damn near pedo. Near pedo because apparently 17 is a legal age, but it is just barely. Now Michael is not there talking shop with Drew about budgeting and Curtis well division and a bunch of boring stuff that I really don't give a damn about. But he's distracted. And, when he's sitting there, before Michael came in, he's sitting there talking to Willow. Once again, he keeps sitting there trying to downplay everything. And Willow's all like, oh, well, I love him and this, that, and the third. And, this was wrong and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, partly, I'm just kind of done with her. I don't want to sit there and say whining, but just explaining over and over and over again how wrong it was and how much she loves him, because it's like, that's what you sit there and say when you've been caught. And I'm going to tell you something, that's some pretty irritating shit. You catch your spouse sitting there saying, oh, well, it didn't mean that happened, I still love you. Well, you didn't love him that much. You didn't love her that much to sit there and do that. So don't sit there and give me the whole, oh, I love him. Even when Drew's to say, oh, well, that's my nephew and this, that, and the third. Well, clearly it didn't matter. So, part of the explanation, I just got a little irritated, and honestly, just like, yeah, yeah, just because y'all may try to downplay it to make yourselves feel better, still doesn't come across anything less than trash. Um, Now, Drew basically is sitting there saying, let's just keep this secret to the grave. The longer this goes on, the less weird and awkward it's going to be. But in soap operas, we know that that's not going to happen. They're going to constantly feel guilty and everything like that. She feels so guilty that she goes to the stables and have this random conversation with Cody about how she doesn't like fireworks and 4th of July and how's the horses. Like, honestly, tell you the truth, Willow, you don't give a damn about the horses like that. I don't even understand why this scene even needed to take place, other than the fact that it's like, okay, we get it. She feels guilty. Oh, I don't know what to sit there and tell you. Because at the end of the day, you can either do two things. You can sit there and tell the truth, or you can sit there and take that secret to your grave. If it was a one-time thing only, and granted, I'm not a fan of cheating and I'm not a fan of lying, but if it was a one-time mistake, one-time bad decision only, and you know that it's never going to happen again, and you want to keep your family together, and you just don't do what you did and live the rest of your life very happily. I'm going to sit there and tell this random story to anyone that ever watched a show called Torchwood. Long story short, this woman, I think her name was Gwen, wound up cheating on her husband. And in one episode, she played out the possibilities of what could wind up happening if she told the truth. It didn't end well. So ultimately, she decided to just keep that secret to her grave. It was a bad. I hate when people sit there and say it was a mistake. It was a bad decision. It was a bad decision. She lived out the rest of her days with her husband, new baby girl, and they were very happy. Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing, because I always do believe in telling the truth. And I'm also looking at it like, it happened once, it's never going to happen again. Just move forward. Of course, that's not going to happen because it's a soap opera, but I'm just saying. Sonny also comes over to talk to Carly about what she's going to sit there and say if she gets called or when she gets called to testify. The only thing that Carly says is if I'm going to go in a courtroom and bury somebody, or I'm going to sit there and talk crap or whatever, it's going to be about Ava. Doesn't exactly put Sonny's mind totally at ease, but he's like, I'll take what I can get. He also does ask if Donna could spend more time at the house since Ava's gone. He doesn't exactly say yes, but at some point Jason comes over and as some things get super tense and super awkward again, and Sonny's like, oh, so, did you and your buddy find anything on me? And Jason's like, I'm not working against you. He's like, okay, good. Well, keep it that way. And part of me's like, maybe it's just the male ego on me, but I don't like somebody feeling like you just gonna punk me and just start, talking trash or whatever, or like kind of threaten me and just walk away like you just untouchable. And Jason's not the type of person that will let a comment like that get on his nerves. And again, once again, I get it, he's not fully on his medication. But Jason has way more patience than let's just then say me. Sonny leaves, and Carly's like, you need to sit down. Maybe you should tell him the truth. Which is a bad idea. So Jason explains all the different reasons of why it's not okay to tell Sonny about the reason why he's working for the FBI. Carly's like, listen, it may not matter because I may want to go into jail anyway. Jason's like, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm like, bro, you really are sitting there trying to play Superman for Carly. And maybe this time, you let Carly sit there and deal with her consequences of the actions that she did. Listen, at the end of the day, you married Sonny a couple of times. You knew exactly what was in store. It is what it is. But what else? Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else. I might have missed one or two things, but that is the general gist of the episode. And of course, if I did miss anything, you can either write it in the comment section and let me know what I missed. Or better yet, come to the live stream and we'll sit there and talk about all of it. We'll talk about General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born the Beautiful, and Young and Restless. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video and hopefully live stream.